Herzlich willkommen zum Bewohnerfrei Podcast, der Podcast für Deutschland, Österreich und die Schweiz, der sich erfolgreiche Menschen anschaut und sich dann überlegt, wie sind die dorthin gekommen. Und ich habe heute die besondere Ehre, einen der Autoren eines Buches hier zu haben oder einen der Berater eines Buches, was ihr wahrscheinlich alle gelesen habt, nämlich The Secret. Und ich lese euch jetzt, dieser Podcast wird heute auf Englisch sein, deshalb ist auch die Einleitung von Dr. John Demartini auf Englisch. And now we'll continue in English so you understand what I'm saying. I just said that I'm so looking forward to the interview and that you are one of the people who are responsible for one of the best books on the market, which is The Secret. And Dr. John Demartini is a world-renowned specialist in human behavior, a researcher, author, and global educator. He has developed a series of solutions applicable across all markets, sectors, and age groups. His education curriculum ranges from corporate empowerment programs, financial empowerment strategies, self-development programs, relationship solutions, many people need that, and solution transformation programs. His teaching started in the core of the issue addressing the human factor and range out to a multitude of powerful tools that we have proven the test of time. He studied over 29,000. Is that a spelling mistake or is it really 29,000 books?
It's 30,100 now. That's an outdated one.
Okay, so he has studied over 30,100 books, and his wisdom of the age, which shares is on stage with over 60 countries. He has written several books. He is the producer of 5FM, Gareth Cliff Show, and he has audiences up to 11,000 people, shared the stage and knows people like Richard Branson, Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Donald Trump. I could just continue for an hour now, but we rather step into the interview. So welcome to this interview, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you.
So the most important question my audience and I have is, how did you become who you are today? Because most people going into personal development, they always see the result. So I would really love to know how you grew up and what was your first steps into personal development and to become the person you are today.
Well, I was born with my arm and leg turned in and had to wear braces on my arm and leg until I was 4. I desired to get out of the braces when I was 4. And my dad said, you can only come out of the braces if you can keep your arm and leg straight. When I came out of the braces, all I wanted to do is run. And I guess I've been on the run ever since.
Wow.
Full-time travel.
Wow.
When I was 5 and 6 years old, and I started elementary school, my first grade teacher was trying to teach me how to read. And no matter what I did, I couldn't do it. I couldn't understand, I couldn't spell, I couldn't pronounce things, and I couldn't write. I had to go to a speech pathologist as a child, too. In first grade, my teacher finally had my parents come to the school and said to my parents, I'm afraid your son will never be able to read, he'll never be able to write, he'll never be able to communicate, he won't mount to anything, he won't go very far in life. But he likes to run, so put him into sports where he might be able to excel. I only made it through the elementary school because of the smartest kids by asking them questions of what they learned. And they would give me insights because it would feed their pride by telling me things. That worked fine until I was 12. And my parents moved from Houston, Texas to Richmond, Texas at 12. And when I moved to a small town, I didn't have any smart kids. There's really low socioeconomic, a lot of poor people. And the result of that, I ended up not having anybody to help me, and I ended up dropping out of school. I left school. When I was 13, I left home, and I became a street kid. I lived locally first, and I lived in a bowling alley, and I lived in a restaurant at night, and I lived in a park. And then at 14, I left Texas and hitchhiked to California and throughout Mexico on a surfing goal. I wanted to surf big waves. I wanted to go to California and someday to Hawaii and surf. I lived in California until I was 15, and then panhandled enough money to make it to Hawaii, and I flew to Hawaii. There I lived underneath a bridge on the North Shore, and then from there it got too noisy, so I lived in a park bench and then a park bathroom, and finally in an abandoned car. From there, I finally made it to a tent. I got a tent, and I lived in a tent in the jungle, and I surfed. And at age 17, I nearly died. I ended up with strychnine cyanide poisoning, and I was nearly dead. Luckily, a lady found me in my tent unconscious. She helped me clean up the tent and took me to a health food store to get food in me. When I left that health food store a few days later, going there each day with her help, I saw a flyer on a door that said special guest speaker Paul C. Bragg. Week classes. I was a school dropout. I never read. I didn't know how to read. I had learning problems. But one night I went to this class where this elderly gentleman spoke. And in 1 hour, this one man, that one night, with his one message, inspired me so much. He was speaking to me. And that night, he inspired me to believe that maybe, just maybe, I could learn to read and overcome my learning problems and someday be intelligent.
How did you do that?
Maybe intelligent. I never thought I was going to be.
How did he do that? What did he say?
He said that we have a body, we have a mind, and we have a soul. The body must be directed by the mind, and the mind must be guided by the soul in order to maximize who we are. And that we need to take command of our life and not the world, not let the world on the outside dictate our destiny. We take command and set goals for ourselves, our family, our community, our city, our state, our nation, our world, and beyond for 120 years. Nobody spoke to me like this. He said, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you've been through. What matters is, do you have a dream? Well, I had a dream at the time that I didn't even know I had. Besides surfing big waves, which I did, I had a dream to overcome my learning problems and learn how to read and be intelligent. And that night was the first time I ever believed I could. And so I at the end of the talk, he took us through a meditation. And I saw a vision of me speaking in front of a group of people. I didn't expect that, but that's what came to my mind. And he was doing classes every morning in the opposite side of the island. So at 5:45, I hitchhiked to the other side of the island to spend time with him. For 3 weeks, every morning I did that. And he taught me about the power of the mind and the power of thoughts, the power of vision, and the power of what we say to ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. And he started a new trajectory in my life. I started meditating every day. I actually went to a health food store and picked up the first book I ever read, which was Chico's Organic Gardening and Natural Living, which is filled with pictures because I thought the guy on the cover looked like me as a hippie. If I could read that book. And I didn't know how to read it, but at least I could look at the pictures and some of the words. And then I was in meditation, and in a meditation it said, it's time to go see your parents. So I flew back to LA, hitchhiked back to Texas, and when I got home, my parents didn't recognize me because I had long hair and a beard at the time. And my mom and dad encouraged me to take a GED, a high school equivalency test, so I could have a high school equivalence. And somehow I passed. Paul Bragg gave me an affirmation because I told him I didn't know how to read. He said, that doesn't matter. What matters is to say to yourself every day that I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. And if you say it every single day, sooner or later the cells of your body will tingle with the soul of the world. So I've been saying that affirmation for 45 years every morning.
Since then, since that day?
Yep. Never missed a day.
How did your surrounding react? Like the people you served with, the people your friends from the street, when you went into personal development, what did they say?
Well, they laughed. The first group I ever told, they just laughed and they said, yeah, sure, man. And but my parents encouraged me to take a GED, and I guessed and I passed. And then I took a college test. I guessed and I passed. And then I took my first college class, and it was a summer school class, and I bombed it. I failed so bad. I got a 27. I needed a 72 to pass. I almost gave up on my dream. I was crying so much driving home I couldn't even see. And I curled up in a fetal position under the Bible stand in my parents' living room. And I lost the vision. I thought, well, there's no way. All I could hear is my first grade teacher saying I'd never read, write, or communicate, never amount to thing, never go over far enough. Well, my mom came home from shopping, and she saw me distraught sitting on the floor. And she said, son, what happened? And I said, Mom, I blew the test. I guess I don't have what it takes. She said to me at that moment, she didn't know what else to say, and she leaned over and put her hand on my shoulder and she said, son, whether you become a great teacher and travel the world and do what you dream about as a teacher around the world, or you ride big waves in Hawaii, or you go back to the streets and panhandle as a bum, I just want to let you know that your father and I are going to love you no matter what you do, boy. We just love you.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
When she said that, my hand went into a fist. I looked up and I saw that vision of me speaking in front of a large group. And I said to myself, I'm going to master this thing called reading. I'm going to master this thing called studying and teaching. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to travel whatever distance. I'm going to pay whatever price to give my service of love. And I'm going to become a master teacher. I'm not going to let anything on the face of the earth stop me from this, not even myself. I got up and I hugged my mom and I went into my room. I got a dictionary out and I started memorizing a dictionary, 30 words a day with the help of my mom. And my vocabulary grew 30 words a day. We had to say them, spell them, use them in a sentence, that meaning. And slowly but surely my vocabulary was strong enough where I started passing school. And then I started reading encyclopedias. I read 8 complete sets of multiple volume encyclopedias to grow my knowledge so I could increase my vocabulary. And I was off and running. And slowly but surely people started asking me, you know, what did I learn and what was what I know? And I started teaching. By the time I started teaching, and I never stopped. First it was local at the university, and then I had sometimes 100, 150 students gathered under the trees in the park each day at school. And then when I went to professional school, I started teaching 7 nights a week, every night. In speed reading, I started accelerating my reading. I started learning how to read really fast. And I started reading at least 4 to 7 books a day, and sometimes 20 books on a weekend. And I just never stopped. And I started locally doing it in the community, and then finally went around the city, and then the state, and then all over America. I did every city, every state in America except for 2 states. And then I started going internationally. And today, you know, I've been to about 119 countries speaking. I've done one program in 63 countries now. And I never stopped. And I've been doing it now 45 years.
Unbelievable. Do you believe every human being has this one thing they're really good at? Do we all have that?
Well, everybody has a set of priorities, a set of values in their life. And the highest value is the most intrinsic, and it's the thing that you are spontaneously inspired from within to do. And if you orchestrate and design your life in such a way that you're prioritizing your daily life and filling your day with high-priority actions that inspire you, your day doesn't fill up with low-priority distractions that don't. And you start to awaken and emerge as a leader in areas in research. I do every day, never miss a day. So if you focus on what it is that's most meaningful, most inspiring, most fulfilling, and prioritize your life and learn the art of delegating lower priority things so you're not in low priority stuff, then you accelerate yourself and build momentum. And this is what happened to me. I just kept building momentum. I never given up on my dream. I just keep focusing on the dream. I haven't reached every country, and I'm still working on it. I was just in Romania, and I've got Vietnam, and I got Kuwait. I just keep until I tick off every country on the face of the earth. So, you know,
and there are many countries.
there's 200-something countries, so I'm over halfway there. But the point is that I never stopped. So, you know, perseverance and never giving up. That's one of the keys. And but you won't do that unless it's really high in your values. Setting up fantasies defeat you. You set up real goals with real time, with real strategies that you incrementally build momentum towards, and take baby action steps to make big dreams. Like piggy banks become biggie banks. I just never gave up. I just kept doing it, and I read and I write every day.
What do you do on days when you're not in the best mood? I think every human being has that. What do you do to get back?
I don't have that.
You don't have that?
I don't have that. I do every day. I've done a talk. I do between 300 and 400 talks a year. I do 1,000 interviews a year. I write about 40 to 70 articles a month. I'm busy every day. I have an itinerary that I have every single day mapped out in advance, days in advance, and I don't have idle time. I don't waste my time on things. I figured I can rest at the end of my life. I'm a very busy guy, and I love what I do. I don't know of anything else I'd rather be doing than what I do.
So you said before that during this meditation, you saw yourself doing that one day. What is your mission until the end of your life? And you said you're going to travel to all the countries of the world. What is your mission? To reach people, to inspire people, to change?
Well, I believe that there's a magnificence inside people instead of an insignificance. I believe that they have the capacity to do something extraordinary on earth. And a lot of people don't give themselves permission to do that extraordinary thing. And they don't give themselves permission to live an amazing fire life. And I believe that if they set goals that are congruent, it can emerge. And I believe that there's a hidden leader and a hidden genius in all of us. And it takes living congruently and integrally with what you authentically have as your highest value, what you're absolutely inspired intrinsically to do. So I help people find that. And I help people structure their lives where they do that. And that's one of the most inspiring things I get to do. And I get to speak in many different fields. I may speak to a government on engagement and change management or leadership. Right. I speak like the other day. I stretch learning. So anything every day. And I just have a goal. I have a mission to reach.
I feel it and I can see it. What is the topic that kicks you the most? Where you are like, oh wow, I could do that every day. What is the topic that you love the most?
Well, the thing I love doing, I teach a program called Breakthrough Experience, which is the program that I love doing. I've done it 1,116 times. I'm right in Toronto doing it now. After I get off here. So I love helping people break through whatever they see is in the way and turn it on the way. Because I believe that there's nothing in the way. It's always on the way. It's the way you perceive it. You have decisions in your actions. When you learn the solid questions that help you transform whatever you perceive into something of opportunity, you do extraordinary things. So I love helping people find what it is that their highest value is, help them orchestrate their life to go and achieve it, so they can be inspired about their life. There's absolutely no reason they require motivation. Motivation is a symptom, not a solution. And people get caught in motivation instead of inspiration. And so I basically help people structure their lives authentically so they get to do what they love in life. If you're not doing what you love and loving what you do, you're missing out on your life.
Could you outline the difference between inspiration and motivation? Because I think especially in Germany, it is a very big misconception people have in their head. Also in the whole field of personal development.
Well, I know. I'm amazed. Many people think, oh, you're a motivational speaker. I'm not a motivational speaker. Motivational uses persuasion and rhetoric to get you to do something they want you to do. An inspired person and persons living by inspiration is finding out what they're intrinsically driven to do. That's what I help people find. That's why on my website there's the value determination process that I encourage people to go on. It's free, but it helps them narrow down what's really the most important things in their life.
Okay.
And starting to structure your life to live according to that. Most people don't give themselves permission. Most people subordinate to the world around them, and they live in the shadows of people instead of on the shoulders of giants. And we're not here to subordinate. We're not here to put people on pedestals or pits. We're here to put people in hearts, have reflective awareness, not reflexive awareness, and go after something that's meaningful to us. There's no meaning in life, no fulfillment.
Why do most people settle? Why don't they do that? Why do you believe most people settle?
Yes, because they compare themselves to others instead of comparing their daily actions to what they value most. That's the key, because if they compare themselves to others, they can exaggerate others, minimize themselves. They'll inject the values of others in their life. They'll try to live outside their own values, and they'll self-defeat. Okay. I'm amazed. I ask people, how many of you want to be financially independent? I've asked millions of people, how many want to be financially independent? They all put their hands up. How many of you are? And they all put their hands down. I said that because what you have as a value is immediate gratifying consumerism that buys depreciable items. The person who truly values wealth building wants to buy assets that appreciate value. And they want not immediate gratification, they want long-term vision. And I explained to them, as long as you have the values of immediate gratification and consumerism, you're not going to have wealth. You're going to be living through other people's brands instead of building a brand around your own life. And I teach people how to instead of being a consumer of other people's brands to make them feel good, I told people to design your own brands so other people buy your brand. And I'm a believer that if fulfilling your highest priorities every day, you're going to fill up the low priorities. You're self-depreciating yourself instead of inspiring yourself.
And why do you think that until the book The Secret hit the market, which is pretty much now in every shelf of everybody who have read anything about personal development, next to your books, of course, why do you think that combination really worked and is now in so many households? And how did you come to be part of that?
Well, I've been involved in teaching, as you know, 45 years. And Rhonda Byrne found out about me because I was out speaking. I was doing around just under 300 speeches a year before I met her. And I was traveling pretty extensively anyway. She found about it in Melbourne, Australia. And I happened to be involved in the Transformational Leadership Council with Jack Canfield and others. And so she ended up coming to the council meeting. We had 33 of us all there together in Aspen, Colorado. And she filmed for 3 solid days and filmed 33 people all back to back in 3 solid days. And that's where The Secret was filmed, most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. And so in the process of doing that, she asked if I'd participate in the movie. The movie originally was going to be a TV show, not a movie.
Oh,
it was going to be a TV show originally. It was going to launch around the world, but the Commonwealth Games bought out the time and messed up the thing, so they had to launch it in DVDs. And that went viral. And the original one is not the one that everybody saw. There are 3 versions. The original was a TV 2-hour special. The others came out in a diluted form. They watered it down a little bit because it was a little bit probably not. It would not have done as well if it had been TV. It would have limited itself. So the universe made sure it went worldwide. And so I was very blessed to be on there. But most everybody on there had ideas beyond The Secret they want to share. And so many of us were adding to our speaking career because we had opportunities to speak around The Secret. But yeah, Rhonda Byrne helped launch a lot of opportunity for people, and a lot of people. It went viral. It went to millions and millions of people. And so that helped me reach more people, and we helped them reach more people with the DVD because we were out speaking, and that helped sell it. So everybody won out of it.
What do you believe in? God, universe, what is what you believe?
Well, that's a big, broad question.
I know.
When you say,
who should I ask if not you?
In theology, there have been man, based on fears and feelings of oppression and anxieties, has created in the temporal and parietal lobes a response, a dissociation response, and created artificial gods in his own image. He's made anthropomorphic and zoomorphic and geomorphic gods. There's been thousands of them, and most of them have been retired because once we overcame the fear, they didn't need the gods anymore because we would pray to the gods to protect us from our fears. And so most anthropomorphism, I'm not much interested in. It's a personalized God that you basically to talk to make you overcome your fears. I'd rather break through the fears and just be honored, honor the magnificence of the universe because the universe is nothing to be frightened of. The universe is something to be thankful for. It's a magnificent universe. But then there's also a field of intelligence, a matrix, if you will, a panpsychism inside the universe that transcends anthropomorphism. That some Dyson and Einstein and Max Planck and people like Schrodinger, they believed underlie the laws of the universe. And this intelligence, this order of the universe that all great scientists, Nobel Prize winners would not even pursue their pursuits, their studies, if they didn't believe there was some sort of rational order in the universe. And this intelligence, Einstein said that it's enough for me on a daily basis to contemplate the intelligence that permeates the universe. That is the one that it's an impersonal intelligence that's not necessarily an anthropomorphic God, but it's a field of intelligence that some people honor and respect as something that orders the universe that we live in. And if we study that, the greatest worship of the universe is basically studying the universe and discovering how it is instead of how we fantasize it to be. And so I'm a believer in exploring the magnificence of the universe. I studied 296 different disciplines to try to explore the magnificence of how the universe is structured, particularly in human consciousness and the involvement of that. So I'm a panpsychic individual, panpsychism, but at the same time I honor each of the religious constructs as stages of human understanding. And so, because people live in phobias because they set up fantasies. If you strive for that which is unavailable and keep trying to avoid that which is unavoidable, you'll have the suffering, as the Buddha says, because you keep striving for fantasies. But when you actually set goals that are real, that are aligned with the laws of the universe, extraordinary wisdom and love come out of people, and they do extraordinary things. So I'm along that lines. I believe that there's an intelligence of the universe. It's an intelligent universe. It's made out of laws of the universe. But I'm not much so into anthropomorphic gods that you pray to and they punish and reward you and stuff. I think that's childish. It's a stage of awareness, but not the truth.
Okay. Prior to our interview, I made an Instagram live and I asked for people for questions that I could ask you. And I outlined the top 3. Number 1 is, does the secret really work? If I send something out, does it come back to me? Pretty easy question, probably complex answer.
Because we have a hierarchy of values, if we set a goal that is aligned and congruent with our highest values, our executive center comes online. Our medial prefrontal cortex, the advanced forebrain, gets blood glucose and oxygen. That area of the brain lights up and gets glucose. We have inspired vision, strategic planning, executing of plans, and self-governance. And we set objective, reasonable goals that are balanced, that are truly one to embrace pain and pleasure in the pursuit of and not stop. And we'll think long-term vision with foresight. We'll have teleological focus, purposeful focus. If we set goals that are lower on our values, we go into our with glucose and oxygen to avoid pain and set up fantasies, things that aren't really important to us, but we fantasize because it gives us a dopamine high. And those are fantasies that we have self-defeat on. When we set goals that are high in our values, we see opportunities because we have the pulvinar region or thalamus wakes up and filters and helps us find the things that are most important and see it. And we see opportunity, we take actions on those opportunities, and we increase our probabilities of achievement. But if we set goals that are not really ours, we decrease it. So it's not just the setting of a goal. It's got to be setting a meaningful goal that is truly inspiring, that is really aligned with the highest values that they are willing to dedicate your energies to. Then you'll persevere, and you will see opportunities, take action, make decisions quickly, and achieve, as Napoleon Hill says. But if you set goals that are fantasies, you won't see the secret doing its job. So the secret, behind the secret, left out of the secret, is setting congruent goals that are really, truly meaningful, not fantasies. And people come up to me after the secret and said, it's not working for me. And I look, and they're setting up fantasies. They're expecting to be rich overnight, going out to their mailbox and have millions of dollars appear in their mailbox without serving people. Those are delusions. Secret's not going to work on those. But it is if you set a real goal in real time with real strategies that are inspiring to you, you're willing to work towards, regardless of pain and pleasure. If you do that, you're going to have the secret do amazing things for you because you're going to attract opportunities. You're going to see opportunities, people, places, things, and ideas and events in your life come into your life that you're going to be able to extract and take actions with. So the secret works when you really know the secret.
Wow. Question number 2. Does luck exist? Are people just lucky?
Well, people have been saying, is it luck, probability? Well, I'm a firm believer that preparation, meeting opportunity is what's called luck. And the people that prepare the most get luckier. People say, well, how did you get where you did? You have a gift. I said, no, I don't have a gift. I've been working. I've been putting in long hours, many days over a period of time. And my luck gets stronger every time I keep persevering towards a goal. So, yeah, there are definitely events that occur that you didn't anticipate. But I believe that they come into your life that resonate with you because of what you're focused on and what you're committed to. I have opportunities to speak around the world every day. And as a result of that, it's because I've worked very diligently for that. I've hired publicity people. I've hired teams. I've delegated things. I read every single day. I try to inspire people. So when people get the inspiration, they want to tell more people. So I get more opportunities. I don't see that really as lucky. I see that as that I've consistently applied the principles that give me a result. Because if you say it's luck, then people go, well, then I may not be lucky, so why would I do it? But if it's specific action steps that you persevere on and you achieve something, it gives people the ability to go out there and create what they want. So I'm not a promoter of luck so much. I'm going to say that I've increased my probabilities of looking like I'm lucky because I keep working towards my dreams. And the people I know that get their dreams are the people that consistently persevere towards them. They never give up on their dreams.
Wow. Last question. What is the biggest obstacle or the biggest mindset you had to change to become where you are today?
Well, my biggest challenge was the time I told you about that I failed that class. And that if I had not had my mom say that and I'd not had that little turning point, I don't know what I'd done. I might have gone back and surfed big waves because I rode big waves.
Also nice.
But my mom loved me. She cared. And she said the perfect thing. And I know that she saw me that way. And she saw in me what I didn't see in me, just like Paul Bragg did. I didn't see in me a teacher until the night I met Paul Bragg. But he had such certainty. His certainty exceeded my doubt that I was able to do amazing things and overcome any obstacle that I wanted. And so that was a very special night. But no, you know what it was? Is my intuition said to go to listen to this class. And I was ready for it. When the student's ready, the teacher appears.
Wow.
And I think that's, I have people that as a result of coming to the Breakthrough Experience program, I've had people do extraordinary things. I mean, actors that go out and do extraordinary careers and sports people that do extraordinary careers. But the people I see that do that, I see them consistently prioritize their day, stick to the things that are producing results, ask themselves what are the feedbacks and metricing it. I metric everything I do. I keep records of everything. I keep a document of everything that I do to find out what worked, what didn't work. How do I do it more effectively and efficiently? What are the action steps that are getting me the progress? No matter what's happened, how's it helping me? I have specific things that I do to get me my results. And I find the people that follow that, they get the same results. So I believe it's duplicatable.
There's one
that we have the capacity to duplicate these outcomes.
Yeah. There's one big trend in Europe. It's that people do a lot of daily routines. They fill in their gratitude book. They start meditating. Then they do this and this. What is your routine? Is there one thing you could share that you do?
I research, write, travel, teach every day.
Okay, understand.
I research every day. I write every day. I travel most every day. I was in, just the last few weeks, I was in, LA. I went to Cape Town. I went to Joburg, went back to Cape Town, went back to Joburg, went to Singapore, then went to Chennai, India, went back to Singapore, went to Sydney, went to Melbourne. From Melbourne, I went to Singapore, then I went to London. From London, I went to Tokyo. Tokyo, I went to Frankfurt. Frankfurt, I went to Romania, Bucharest, then back to Frankfurt. Now I'm in Toronto. Tomorrow I go to Vancouver. 2 days later, I'm in Houston. And 2 days later, I'm in Kuwait. I keep doing what I do.
How do you do that with your diet? What do you eat? Do you have a special diet?
I have fresh yogurt in the morning with fresh fruit and multi-grain rolls of bread or granola or something of that nature, grains. At lunch, I had yesterday a bowl of chicken vegetable soup and some multi-grain breads. Dinner last night, I had a turkey sandwich, but sometimes I'll have fish and vegetables. I eat really well. I don't drink, I haven't had coffee or tea. I've only had 3 cups of coffee my whole life. I don't drink coffee or tea, really. I don't have any alcohol. I've only had 1 glass of wine in the last 45 years. I drink water extensively, and that's simple life. I just research, write, travel, teach. I've delegated everything else away. I don't do anything else.
Okay. And
I haven't driven in 27 years. I don't cook. I don't do anything else. I delegate everything else away.
Wow. And now we have very good news to everybody who is listening, because you are coming to Germany. Let's talk about that for a moment. You're coming to the National Achievers Congress in Germany, which is in Munich on the 28th and 29th of October this year. And both of our partners is Success Resources, and they bring you over. That is very good news.
Yes, I'm looking forward. I'm going to talk about the 8 great secrets of great achievement and success. And I can't wait to get in front of the audience. There's nothing I love doing more than standing up and doing what I can to help inspire people, because I believe that that's my mission. My mission statement's really clear. I know exactly what I'm up to, and I'm working on it, and that's one of the keys right there. So anybody that's going to be there, I'm absolutely certain they're going to walk away with something they're going to say thank you for.
Yeah, we're going to put the links for the tickets here in the show notes immediately. My last question is, after the event on the National Achievers Congress in Munich, people will get home. They're super pumped up. They have this light. They want to share their story. They want to get successful. And then there's the surrounding of people who are saying, you're stupid, that is just whatever, bullshit, why don't you stay where you are? Does that very often happen to participants, and what would you tell them?
Well, mediocrity is always attacking great minds. To be great is to be misunderstood. Be prepared for that. Anybody that you exceed, they're going to feel jealous, and they're going to try to bring you into their level. Everybody projects onto you their values to try to get you living their values, and you have to say, thank you, but no thank you, I'm on a mission. Let nothing on the outside interfere with the mission. The old proverb says that my own soul. At first, you'll get ridiculed. You might get violently opposed. If you stay focused on something, you'll change the world. Don't let anybody on the end doing something. That's great. I get criticism all the time. That's part of the game. That's perfect. Some people say you can't possibly do it. The other day I was speaking Friday night, and the guy said, do you do a lot of interviews? And I said, yeah, I do about 1,000 interviews a year. And he goes, you do 1,000 interviews a year? And I said, yeah. And do you do media, print media? And I said, yeah, I do about 40 to 70 magazine articles and newspaper articles a month. And they said, 40 to 70 or 4 to 7? I said, 40 to 70. They go, you're crazy. No one can do that. I said, I do it every month.
Wow.
And then I pulled up my website and I showed him, and he goes, I can't believe you've done that. People doubt things because they don't believe they can do it.
Wow.
And so they project their limitations on you. That's normal. That's great. Don't be rejecting. You never get a rejection without an acceptance. You never get a criticism without a praise. You never get somebody trying to bring you down without somebody to lift you up. Continue to go out and serve the people. Serve the people that want to be served. Focus on them. Fill your day with the highest priority actions you can. Delegate the lower priority distractions that you're not inspired, that weigh you down, and get on with the mission. You'll do it. You'll say thank you at the end of your life.
Wow. So before we say goodbye, just a short question, short answer session. You just finished the sentence. What does freedom mean to you? Being free, what does that mean?
Well, I think that you always have freedom and constraint because you're living in still a finite world. But freedom to me is having the opportunity, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you've gone through, no matter what's experienced, to be able to change your perceptions, your decisions, and actions, and go do something amazing with your life. That's freedom.
Okay.
It's not that, as William James said, that the greatest discovery of his generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their perceptions and attitudes of mind. You have command over your perceptions, your decisions, and actions. The world on the outside has nothing to do with it. You're not a victim of your history. You're a master of your destiny.
Wow. Money is?
Actually, a dim and vast number of people if you have vast amount of money. You know, money is a measuring stick of the services rendered. If you fill your day with high priority action to serve vast numbers of people, you deserve a vast reward. Whatever you serve, you deserve.
The most important sentence I've ever heard?
So no matter what you've done or not done, you're worthy of love. Give yourself permission to love yourself the way you are instead of compare yourself to other people. You're not here to compare yourself to other people. You're here yourself to compare your daily actions to your own dreams. Don't live in the shadows of anyone. Stand on the shoulders of giants. Own the traits of the greats. Realize that if you see greatness in others, you couldn't see it if you didn't have it in you. Target where it is in you and get moving.
And the most beautiful spot on earth I've ever seen. You have to say Frankfurt.
Well, Frankfurt's great. I was just in Frankfurt just 2 days ago. I passed through that very lovely airport. It goes all different levels. It's a great airport. Yes, I think the greatest place on the planet is in the human heart. When they allow I always say when you're grateful for what you do, gratitude is the key that opens up the gateway of the heart. And inside the heart is love. And love radiates out. The window washes the mind, brings inspiration to the mind, enthusiasm to the body, certainty and presence to your experience. And if you go and start with gratitude each day and go after what you really love to do and document what you're grateful for each day, it helps you. And so I think the greatest place on the planet is the human heart.
Wow. Thank you so much. I will just finish and close up in German, and then we take one picture together, and then we meet at the NAC in Munich, okay? And many people will come, I promise you. Das war heute der Bewohnerfrei-Podcast mit Dr. John Demartini, und es war absolut unglaublich. Wenn euch die Folge gefallen hat, dann bewertet uns. Ich freue mich auf alle weiteren Folgen mit euch unter www.tobias-beck.com/podcast und danke fürs Zuhören.